Good evening, everyone. This is Paul from the Bowmen podcast, along with Troy Forrester here, one of the finalists from First Phorm Outdoors. We did the men's version of the finalists of First Phorm Outdoors last week, and now we have the ladies of First Phorm Outdoors. Don't underestimate them, man. I mean, look at this. They're fierce.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got Ms. Lacey Zielinski here, who is the winner of the competition. Congratulations to you and your family.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Must have been some hard work, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, were
It
you
was
there?
not easy.
Yeah. Were you there last year in the first one?
No, this
Oh,
is my first
really?
year. Yeah.
That's awesome. So any
Yeah,
of
Britt
you
was
were
the only
there?
one here.
Oh, Britt
It
was
was
the only one that was there?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. And how did you do last year?
I competed with the guys, so I got 6th overall with the
Really?
guys. Mhm.
That's legit. So basically you won.
Well, the winner I beat physically in every race. He just shot a lot better. So
okay.
I got that on me at least.
Awesome. Well, that's great. So in comparison to last year, what do you think the biggest variation was?
Last year we had rucksacks every single workout. And that physically weared on everyone. The guys had 30 pounds, women had 20. And that was the hardest part of going through the entire thing with a rucksack. But this year, I feel like there was so much more running, long distance running. And so those are kind of the two comparisons. But it was very nice to not have a rucksack this entire time. So
awesome. Now, Troy, did you guys pretty much the same? Were the competitions the same?
Yeah. So this year, our experiences, we did the exact same workouts. There was just a little bit of a weight difference for some of the female, for their exercises, if you will. They had just a little bit different weights, but the distances were the same. The shots were the shots were different on the long range one, but for the most part, it was equal. And
awesome.
these girls killed it. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It was crazy. The whole competition was crazy. So
yeah. So who here beat Troy in time? Everyone raise your
probably
hand.
all of them. Yeah,
everyone raise your hand.
All of them.
All right. Well, that's awesome. Well, Miss Tiffany, I see you got some kid seats in the back there. Are you at work? You coming home from the gym? Did I catch you at a bad time?
No, so I'm just hanging out with in my car while my son is at baseball practice.
Oh, awesome. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
So how did you prepare for this event? I mean, the November knockdown is, obviously they throw it on you. You have weeks to, a week or so to do it, to roll through it, get your best time and all that. But did you think you were doing this prior to it, or when it came out, you're just like, I'm just jumping into this?
Yeah, no, it's definitely not anything I ever thought I would be doing at all. When we first got the email, I think I signed up pretty last minute because I was like, not really sure. But I actually did it with one of my friends who I train with every day. And we're like, let's just do it just for fun. We both have a bow. We both love fitness. And so just gave it a whirl. And as far as like training wise, I just did CrossFit all the time.
Okay.
And I should have practiced shooting. But yeah, I just ran and did CrossFit mainly for my training.
So do you feel that CrossFit was a good enough preparatory segment for this? Or, for those out there asked, I get a lot of messages like, what was the best, from what you heard, what was the best way to train for this? I want to do it next year. Do you feel that overall CrossFit was the way to go, or for you? Everyone's different, right?
Yeah, I felt like I did really, really well on the fitness aspect of it. CrossFit, I mean, it's a huge variety of different things. So nothing was new as far as like movement wise or the weight. It was pretty standard weight. And actually the sandbag was a little lighter than what I would typically train with. Just had to do more.
Yeah.
They always do like a 30-minute workout with the sandbag, but yeah, I think CrossFit was definitely a huge proponent of me being able to do as well as I did without shooting as well. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So question for Abby here. So the men said that, and Lacey alluded to this as well as Britt, that they didn't prepare for as much long distance running ahead of time that they expected to happen, and they were surprised by that in regards to that. Is that something similar to you? Did you prep for that? How did you go about that? Or was it a shock to you that, like, oh crap, now we're running a little bit longer than I'm used to?
Yeah, I definitely didn't prep for it, that's for sure. I got kind of lucky because I had just come off it training for a half marathon.
Okay.
So I felt I had done one at the end of February. So there's a little lag time, but I didn't really take too much time off. So that part I was somewhat prepared for, but the amount of running back to back to back, I was not prepared for. Especially the part with running with weight.
Yeah.
That part got me.
Yeah, that's
But
what Troy said too, was definitely the running with weight. Like, he prepared for a lot of it, but the running with weight part, I know, Troy, from our last conversation, you said that was something
Yeah.
you're going to train harder with.
Yeah, it killed
Same.
me. I wish I would have had their weight, and then I probably still would have been struggling. But that second workout of that first day, the sandbag workout, I don't know how y'all feel about it, because a lot of you seem to enjoy it, but it smoked me. That was horrible.
I would
You
say
also
the
had 100 pounds. That's a lot more
Right.
than we had.
yes, and I would say running in mud was totally different from going for a run down the street. Like I love, and I don't usually mind running workouts, but adding the mud and like some obstacles, it made it totally like 10 times harder, 100 times harder.
Yeah, it changed, which I'm sure you guys all felt it too. But I know, you all work out and you all prepared for it. But like when I worked out and prepared for it, I was running on roads or like even trails, like you said, But yeah, running in mud is like worse than running in sand. I feel like, even because you're just, it was horrible. It was just, I mean, it was amazingly horrible.
Amazingly horrible. That's great. So Gabby, how did you feel after day one? Did you want to throw in the towel after day one? What was your recovery like? Like, what were your thoughts? I got to ask this. I didn't ask it on the men's side of it. So I got to ask, like, day one's over, right? You get home, you shower, you lay in bed. Like, do you go, WTF am I doing? Or yes, that was awesome. Or how am I going to wake up in the morning? Or if I am going to wake up in the morning.
I immediately did an ice bath. Like, as soon as we were
Nice.
done, I was like, I'm already sore by the time we hit the third workout in the burpees. And then food, because I don't know about everybody else, but I did not want to eat my entire time there. Like, all I took was Formula One ignition. I pounded that. I pounded the hydration sticks and water, but I did not want to eat because that just made me want to throw up everywhere. But other than that, I was kind of bummed because I was hoping for a bath in our hotel room. I don't think any of us had one because I brought like Epsom salt and stuff to be able to soak after. I was already feeling pretty sore. But I was kind of excited though for day two. They had kind of, told us what it was going to be like. And, when you're sitting there, you see the leaderboard. We had it sent to us on Friday night. And so it's just like, I don't know, the competitive side of me was just like, okay, like day two, let's go. I'm going to feel way worse tomorrow when I'm done. And I was a little bit nervous about how I was going to wake up in the morning, but I think the ice bath did help me quite a bit. But that sandbag work, yeah, I think that's going to stay in my memory as like, it might be on my gravestone when I go.
So what was the weight of the female sandbag? I know the guys was like, what, 100 pounds, 90 pounds, something like that.
Was ours 50 or was it 60?
The bag said 60.
Bag said 60. They told us 50.
That's my thought.
They gotcha. Psych. That's funny. All right, Miss Ashley, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So through this all, right? You're going through this competition. You're there. You rocked it for weeks getting into this knockdown, right? You show up on day one. What's the feeling?
It was our first competition ever. My husband and I actually both qualified for it, so we got to travel together.
Awesome.
But yeah, it was really I was nervous, but at the same time, like once I got there and I met everybody, it was like it felt like home. Like we had the best experience. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
knowing what you know now, right?
Yeah.
Preparing for next year, what are you going to do different?
Well, I am starting a CrossFit gym tomorrow.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm gonna start that. Gonna incorporate to that Mountain Tough fitness program,
Okay.
which I'm super excited about to be able to do like at home and in our own gym. So that's the plan for two new things out of my comfort zone.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations to you and good luck in your endeavor.
Thanks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet. Didn't expect that. That's pretty awesome. So
Goals.
yeah, goals. You got to have them, right? You got to have that plan. You got to look forward to it. So it's pretty awesome that inspired you to hit that and go further.
Yeah.
So would you do it again? The competition?
Absolutely. Like,
absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. So much fun. Yeah.
Great.
I think all of us would probably, fun in quotation marks.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
My husband and I were talking about this like Saturday after the competition was done. I looked at him and I was like, oh no, I don't know about like this next year. And he looked at me and he was like, you're gonna wake up tomorrow morning and you're gonna say like, I'm competing next year. And when I woke up the next morning, he was like, so? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah. That's awesome. So how did any of you have your husbands compete and they didn't make the finals and you did? Yes.
Right.
That's awesome. And you won, Lacey. Come on. Come on. You're humble. I like that. You got to celebrate this.
I do feel really bad about it actually, because I just participated to support him. And I had no intention of making it, and then I did. Whoops.
Oh,
I did feel bad.
So what made it for you? What do you think kind of flipped that switch for you? I mean, there had to be a moment, right, where you're like, oh, I'm just doing this to support you, but now I'm like, I'm gonna rock this, right?
It was week 1 of the knockdown challenge, like the semifinals. It was Britt, honestly, because I posted my time. She beat me by 1 second. And that competitive side of me, I'm like, oh no, here we go. Like I was just going to have fun, but I am very competitive. And I was like, I didn't think I'd have a chance. I really didn't. I hadn't shot bow in 20 years. I do work out, but that's really all I had going for me. So I did it. Week 1 went pretty well. And so then I was like, all right, game on. I'll give this, the best that I have and see what happens. And it was fun. So I got hooked pretty fast with that archery side of it.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I mean, anyone can speak up on this. I'm not speaking to anyone directly, but how much did the archery part of this? I mean, we're the Bowmen, right? I own an archery shop. We bow hunt. We do everything archery. How much did the archery part of this come into play? Was it like a make or break for you?
It was for me, at least.
Yeah.
I feel like I shoot really well at home. The whole time training, I shot awesome. And then I got into my own head while I was there. And I feel like because I didn't shoot as well as I normally do, like I did not do well in the competition for my own mindset of I rushed it, trying to be fast. But I think it definitely it broke me in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say it also broke me. Like I said, my fitness was definitely there. I think I finished pretty top in the fitness. But like the first day, I think we shot 18 arrows, and of the 18, 16 of them were adding a minute. So
oh no.
yeah.
It
dropped a bit.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, so the archery part can definitely throw you back. I mean, you can bust your butt running through mud and doing whatever you have to do, and then all of a sudden you're gaining minutes with the arrows you throw down range. Like that's got to be hard. That's got to be hard to stomach. I don't know how I would feel about that. You know, obviously I'm not a fitness guru by any means, but I am an archer at heart, and I think that would hurt. That would destroy me. So Lacey, do you think that the archery part of it won it for you, or
Oh,
what do you
no.
think the
No.
combination was?
I really think you had to be a good mix of both. Like you couldn't just win the competition and be good at fitness, and you couldn't just be a shooter but not be very good at fitness and win. Like you really had to have a decent combination. And I was just semi okay at both, that it must have worked out because I never finished a workout first. And I know I wasn't the best shooter there. So it's just having that combination. Like,
Yeah.
I definitely could have been better at both. And I know what I need to work on for next year.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
was definitely the equalizer for the men too, you know, because I
Yeah.
mean, you guys all witnessed it. There were like Luke Parker and Josh Rhodes and Kyle Herbers. Those dudes are like stacked. I mean, those are like big dudes. And then the rest of us, we're not, you know, we're quote unquote normal dudes, but we all work out. We're all in shape. But that was the great equalizer, you know, because if it was just straight deadlifts, you know, I wouldn't even have been out there, and vice versa, just like you guys. The question I have, which Paul might be getting into it, that first workout of the second day when they released us as teams, like, so the guys, we're all competitive, and it's already been brought up about how, you know, like you guys got there, we all got there, and then it was like everyone's family. We're all competing, but everybody, there's that mutual respect, and we all just like had a blast. But we all know that women can get like super competitive and little nudges here and there. Were there any issues out there on the course? Like we had a backup, the men did, in one area, and we had to actually take turns doing weights and everything. Was there anything crazy that happened? How'd you guys feel about that first workout of the second day?
I'll speak
Well,
on that.
go. No, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
That's how the workout went. We were very polite about it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, for real. There was a portion of that second day first workout. There was a tree in a creek.
Mhm.
Yeah, I broke
Yep.
that. I fell off.
Oh, good. I baptized myself in that creek. Actually, slipped and fell and full dunk. But Abby was my partner, and she was at the top of the hill when I was at the bottom, and she like took the time to turn around and ask me if I was okay. So like as far as that goes, and then further down the line, Danica ended up catching up with me on the devil's presses because those were really hard for me. And she was like cheering me on the whole way. I was cheering her on. Like I never, ever, even in all 5 of the workouts, did I experience like a negative, like a nudge or anything like that. It was just pure pushing each other through it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty equal for the guys and what they said. There was times where people slipped in front of them and they had to support and push and help out, or people fell and they got, helped them and got back up. Honestly, after, editing the other side of it and listening to it and then coming on this cast, I honestly don't think anyone would be there in the finals if that was the case and they were that type of person. Like they probably wouldn't have had the spirit to get through it. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just me thinking after listening to this for hours and working on it, but I don't think they would have been able to make it. Like hearing what they have to say and what you have to say, like solidifies it for me for now. Like if you were that type of human being, you wouldn't be there. So that's really awesome to hear and to hear you all say. That's pretty fantastic. So the do any of you own or well, obviously Ashley, you do now, but prior to this, during the time, own your own gym or are an entrepreneur in your own way before that? No, just home gyms, home workouts. There you go. A basement gym. That's what you got. I know Lacey's got, I don't know what she has. She has wood on the ceiling and everything over there, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm lucky. This is our garage. So we kind of turned the majority of it into a gym. There's not a lot of car space, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, who needs a car in the garage anyway? Where do
Exactly.
you live? Just
We're in South
general.
Dakota.
Oh, so you
South Dakota.
technically do need a garage. So
We're getting to that time too where hail's now a thing. But yeah, all winter it would be nice to have a garage. But we do have a spot for one car, and my husband's nice enough that that's the one that I get to use. So that's kind of nice. I'm spoiled. Yeah.
Nice.
That's great. So I guess question about the travel and all that coming into it. Were you able to bring, I know Troy, you went down with your wife and kids through it, but you had them somewhere else. Who were you able to bring with you during this competition? Were you able to bring your husband, or if you have kids, or your whole family with you, or was it just like, no, it's just you?
Yeah, we all got to bring, spouses. Some people brought their kids, but just my husband and I came out. We don't have kids, so it was just the two of us. So we made the trip, and that was nice.
Okay, great. So they accommodated that. That's awesome.
Yep.
Fantastic. So who here in the group, are you hunters at all, or everyone? No? Yeah. Tiffany, no? Maybe?
So I have sat in a tree stand before.
That's good.
Yeah, a few times. I've never shot anything, but
that's all right. Neither has Troy.
So after the games, I learned I need to go back into the bow shop, and I need to up my draw weight. I need to get a lot more pins. I had a 30-yard pin was my longest pin I had, so I had a lot of guessing and Hail Mary and crossing the fingers to just hit the target.
Yeah.
So yeah, I need to get back into the bow shop and just get set up.
Yeah, a big part of that. Go ahead, Troy.
Let me put in a recommendation there for when you go to your bow shop and you get stuff. Whatever release you get
two of them. You sound drunk, Troy.
So, get two.
I think you're having Wi-Fi.
What I said?
And we know what you're like when you may have used to drink in your former life and had too many. Now we know what you sound like. You had just Wi-Fi lag, like you couldn't believe.
So if can you hear me better now?
There you are.
Yeah.
So what I said during all that, my issues were, whatever release you get two of them.
Yeah.
That way, when you drop one and lose one, you're not running, 150 yards and grabbing an old release that is not set up for your bow.
Yeah, so I actually, after watching you do that, one of the other workouts, my husband, because he came and he brought his bow, and I just grabbed his release and tucked it in to the other pocket of our thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, I'm glad I was able to help. There's like multiple people I was able to help through my issues, so I love it.
I know. I feel terrible for you.
Did any of you witness that and his screaming and running back to the?
I really hope that.
I hope there's a video out there. There's gotta be. I'll pay.
I think I have it on video because I was like, Troy, you're going the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not.
Everyone was like, there's got to be some amazing media because at first everyone's cheering. They're like, yeah. Oh no, the wrong way. I'm like, no, I need my release. I need a release. So,
jeez.
You rocked it like a champ, though. You wouldn't have known that you're like flustered or anything. Like you just handled it really.
I couldn't. I had Kaylee was my judge that first round too. So there was no playing around. It was business. There was no issues there. You had to, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I got a text that night and he's like, "You will never guess what happened." That's hysterical. So did any of you run into any issues like that? I know the guys, there was a couple people that ran into bow issues while they were there. One had his cam ended up getting cracked and had to shoot a backup bow. Troy lost his release. Another guy's sight came loose and had to resight in. Like, did any of you have any of those unforeseen things happen?
I had to resight my bow twice on the weekend. I sighted in Thursday when we were there. And then I ended up switching arrows to a heavier arrow for Saturday, and just out of the blue decided that we were going to shoot different arrows on Saturday.
So what made you think to go to heavier arrows?
On Friday, I had 2 arrows that were consistently not hitting the target, and they were hitting like the same spot every single time.
Okay.
So I knew that
Something's wrong with the arrows.
yeah. And unfortunately I had only brought 6, and the other arrows that I brought were just a heavier weight. So they were just heavy enough that if I shot them, like if I were to replace those 2 arrows with the other arrows that I brought, that they were still not going to hit the target. So I just, spur of the moment, I looked at my husband and I was like, yep, let's do it. So we just switched it really quick on Saturday. And actually my first workout Saturday was the best shots I made all weekend. So worked out for that. Not so much for the second workout, but
yeah,
it is.
Yeah, that's the thing is, archery is a totally different ball game. I mean, I travel a lot and hunt around the US, and I feel like everywhere I go, once I get there, I have to start over again. It's one of those things that elevation, temperature changes. If you're putting it in a plane, that affects your string stretch. Like there's so many variables there. I guess some advice for you ladies. I thought about it on the guy's side and should have said it, but I didn't. A couple things you should look at when you're working out is focus on archery building, strength building, shoulder building techniques so that you could shoot a little higher poundage, because that'll get you distance. And then, like you said before, that you need more pins. If you're shooting a lower poundage, like a lot of ladies are shooting 30, 40, 50 pounds, if you're really rocking it, you're 50 to 60 pounds draw weight, your pin gaps are really wide when you shoot low poundage and you're using a really light arrow. So the more poundage you can pull comfortably will give you A, more accuracy, B, longer range, C, a smaller pin gap in your bow sight, and you'll be able to have more pins to be able to shoot that distance comfortably. So that comes from being able to have the ability to draw it without obviously straining yourself. And it's different, right? Like I teach lessons and I do this all the time, is where people are like, I have big guys come in for the first time and they're like, oh, I could pull whatever. I'm like, no, you can't. Here's a 40-pound bow, try to pull it. And they're like, ugh, like that, because it's a lot of different muscles and it's more of a push-pull technique. So once you have that down, and you can do it with bands is a good way to do it, weighted bands, different strength, practice that technique. And then every time you shoot, crank your bow up like a quarter turn in the top, quarter turn in the bottom on the limb, right? Just to give you a little bit more weight, and you'll never notice it. And then obviously at times you'll have to get a different weighted arrow to help the spine flex and all that. There's different things there, but more or less getting you into that weight range where you can have a smaller pin gap, hit those distances, and be more accurate. Because when you're shooting a low poundage, your accuracy tends to go all over the place. Bows perform at max pressure, right? Like, so if you have a 50-pound bow and it's set at 40 pounds, it's not going to perform as well at 40 pounds than it does at 50 pounds. So if you can get it to where you're almost maxed and be accurate with it and be comfortable and not hurt yourself, then you'll be able to hit those distances and the ranges and that. So, if there's anything any of you ever need in regards to that, or questions or setup, don't hesitate to reach out. Honestly, I'll help you with whatever you need. That's just part of the deal of what we do here at the Bowmen. So we've helped thousands of people out fixing their stuff. So we'd like to see all of you there next year and rocking it. But all right, so now that I'm off my soapbox here a little bit, sorry about that. When you talk archery, I can get into it.
I first share how much, I know in our questionnaire before we started, I got like a little thing that was like how much like you're pulling. I wonder if
draw weight.
Yeah. But I feel like we never talked about that when we were there, what everybody was pulling.
Yeah, they also asked, what bow you shot. Yeah, all those different things. So I don't know if maybe it had to do with some of the sponsorship things, or
it's marketing. It's probably marketing. Yeah.
I think last year they had asked those same kind of questions, and then they had gotten us more things to put on your bow. I forget what it's called. We got a bow hitch, and then I think they were thinking along those lines of maybe accessories for bows. But then also we got that sight this year as well, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that dialed sight's going to definitely help you, but once again, it correlates to draw weight, you know, poundage, pull, you know, efficiency, speed, all that. But I think and I don't know the details, right? I don't know the background of First Phorm and how they set it up, but what would be nice to see is, you know, like Troy, like on the men's division, right? If one of those big, huge jack guys was shooting 80 pounds and you're shooting, you know, 68 or 70, that's going to make a huge difference in regards to distance, accuracy, like all that stuff. Like, I don't know if they do this, and if they do, I'm sorry, but they should. It should be an equal playing field, you know, like it should be like, okay, ladies, you have to be able to shoot 45 pounds. Like that's the limit. Or guys, you should be at 70 pounds. Like, you know, pick your setup from there, but there should be that baseline there in regards to that. I mean, just me as a, you know, bow tech, that's what I think would make it a little bit more fair, because I don't know, Lacey, if you're shooting, you know, 55, 60 pounds and Tiffany's shooting 30 pounds, there's a huge difference there in regards to what can happen. But either way, you still have to compete, you still have to run, you still have to make your shots, you still have to do all those things, and you still have to show up. So it's all relative, but we can go down a rabbit hole of what people should or should not do. But you know, second year for First Phorm Outdoors, kudos to them. Like, this is just a huge deal. I think next year, hopefully all you ladies make it and you're able to get there and rock it. I think next year is going to be even harder to get in. And because there's going to be more, right? There's going to be a lot more exposure. There really has been 1 or 2 videos right now that has been out there. There was thousands of contestants. Like, it's just going to keep growing, so it's going to get harder. So yeah, I mean, you're under the gun now. Like, you gotta start now. You gotta start today or yesterday.
So speaking of First Phorm, you know, we've talked some archery things. We've talked some like specifics with poundage and sights and different things. A lot of you know, Britt, you were there before, but you guys going to First Phorm headquarters and seeing the gym and seeing the professional side of First Phorm. I know the guys, we all had like a lot of takeaways and things. So if there's anything, like, I just kind of want to see what your guys' opinion was of the overall. Like, did you walk away from First Phorm headquarters? You know, people can look at First Phorm and say, oh, that's a supplement company, or, oh, that's just like everyone else. Everyone says they're the best. Everyone says they have the best products, you know, all those things. Marketing is amazing. But once you actually physically go there and you see it in person and you interact with the individuals that work there, like, what was some of your takeaways?
I think that the people make the company. I think that they hire the best of the best that really truly care, and they're like, just from an entrepreneurial side of things, like, their workflow makes it great. Like, it's impeccable the way that they just have their systems and then add on the incredible people that work there. It's like, I was just blown away.
Awesome.
You know, and it's not just the facility either. Like, yes, obviously it's impeccable, but you even go out to the farm and just, I think one of the guys mentioned this too on the podcast, like, nobody left a water bottle on the ground. Like, you didn't see anything left behind. You didn't, like, it's just the people, the community, I guess. It's a standard, and it's held everywhere. So it's really refreshing to see, because you don't see that everywhere.
Yeah. There's a culture and an expectation, and they lived it and they breathed it. And everyone I mean, Troy, you said it the most, like, even working out in the gym, like making sure the plates are the right direction and the right size, the right way. And like, you know, you get anxiety about it because you don't want to be that person, right?
So, and I don't know if any of you guys saw that, but my wife Bree was with me, and a lot of you met her. And when we were at HQ, Andy was working out right next to us. So I'm like, oh gosh, like, don't leave the weights crooked. Like, don't be that guy. Like, that's how I felt all weekend. I was that guy that was running around. And some of you, I know, Ashley, you helped me. Britt, you helped me. Like, I was the guy that was like, which one of these supplements do I take? Like, I'm about to die. Like, somebody give me some recommendation. And then people are just handing me like, here, take these 3 vitamins, take these 3 this, and I'm like, 5 scoops of what? Like, all right, let's go. So,
You're gonna
it was
OD
awesome.
on supplements while you're there and not be able to finish. Be
And
hysterical.
I will say just like the personal like level that no matter who it was, they just got.
That's what you sounded like, Troy.
Oh no.
Good old Wi-Fi lag. It's amazing.
At least we can edit it, huh?
Yeah, but we could take a picture of her at this moment and make sure that we have evidence of this. Oh, she's unfrozen. Damn it, I missed it. Oh, no, we did. She's smiling this time. Sorry for the interruption right there, everyone, but we're just going to get some evidence here of what's going on.
Can you hear?
No, you're not good. Abby, you've been quiet. Take yourself off mute. Come on. Nope, you're back on mute.
Am I back?
Nope. There you go.
Am I-
Hi. Hi,
Oh,
there you
hello.
are.
Hi. Yeah, no, I loved the first Phorm headquarters. I think it was incredible. I was also very I'm very used to not clean gyms, so I was also very conscious of like putting my kettlebell back straight and like wiping off my little drips of sweat. So it was different, but it's good because you walk in and you respect the space more. And going off what Tiffany was saying, like I walked up to my locker and I had a little like box that had my favorite Bible verse on it, and then a toy for my dog. And it's like a fun fact, my dog she has one eye and I got her from Compton, and they went into detail on that on my little thing. So it's like they really did their research and they looked through everybody's personalities and what they loved and like found the things that really meant something. And I think that in itself spoke volumes, because then you talk to everybody and they already know stuff about you, and it just made us feel really special and like they really wanted us to be there. So that set the tone for, I feel like, the whole thing, because then everyone else around me, that's like why I was so excited to compete with everybody. Like you just want to build each other up and like be around each other and make everybody better. So that was the best part. Like there's events that change your life. That was actually one of them, just because of the people that we were around and the community is pretty awesome, honestly.
Awesome. That's great to hear. Yeah, I mean, it's from what I hear, everything is top notch. They did a great job. So kudos to them, and hopefully it keeps growing and expanding from there. So looking back at it, and anyone can answer this at any point in time, what was the highlight? Like, if you were to pick one part of the entire event, obviously, Lacey, we know yours. You won. Yeah.
No, I mean, nice.
I'm joking.
Winning
I'm
is
joking.
nice, but honestly, the people make the party. That is so true. Like that experience wouldn't have been what it was without the people that were there.
That's awesome.
Hands down.
Yeah, that's a big thing to say, and it shows a lot for the environment that was there. Yeah. Absolutely.
I'll say a highlight, I think, for me was actually finishing it, like just all the emotions that I felt, and like cheering on one of the girls, like Danica. I don't know, it was just something that really stood out to me, and just, I don't know, it just kind of blew me away and just made me really thankful for the opportunity we were given and just being able to push our bodies.
Well, here we go again.
Darn it. It was going so good.
What was like literally the hardest thing I've ever done, and I've done.
Yep, you did it again.
It's bad now. We heard most of that.
We heard most of it.
Can you hear me now?
Right.
Oh, there you are.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know where it was, but it was a really cool moment to finish something that was like so hard and do it together. Yeah, it was just a really cool moment to say we did this.
Yeah. That's awesome. So what advice would you give to the people out there watching this the whole time, following it, watching the videos, listening to the podcast after this, and sitting there saying, should I try? Should I not try? Like, what would you say to them?
Absolutely. Why would you not? I mean, I think after that weekend, this is just, I think you guys could agree, like all of the things that we leave on the table that we do not push that hard in our daily training and all of the things that we're capable of, but then to be in that environment with those humans and to have those people next to you pushing you, like, holy cow, I came back here, like I'm capable of so much more, like to be able to experience that. And why not? Like if you're thinking, do it, start now, train, pick up a bow. Like I picked up a bow a day before the first week of the knockdown challenge in November. So like you can do it.
Wow.
You just have to be willing to put in the training. And yeah, I mean, I'm addicted now. Like I came home and I just kept shooting, and I thought I was going to take a pretty decent break from the bow, but I actually wanted to keep doing it. So I would encourage anybody that wants to definitely do it.
That's awesome. That's
I think
awesome to hear.
For me, it's to not count yourself out.
Okay.
I competed in the November knockdown challenge as like a competition for myself. I was a year postpartum when I hit like the November knockdown challenge happened this past year.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was like just me versus me, which that's what it is every day, just showing up you versus you, especially when you're at your house. But I didn't actually like go into it thinking I would be here. Like even in a podcast with all of you incredible people, like it was just not about that for me at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
But I still like poured into it because it was, again, me versus me. So like for anybody who's listening, who's a mom, or if you're a new mom, or you say it's been a couple years, like don't count yourself out of something. Just put your head down, pedal to the metal, see what you can do. I think you'd surprise yourself, because I know I did.
Absolutely. I mean, that's great. I mean, it's inspiring. Everybody out there should have to push to do something, but I think it's great to hear. I mean, the majority of you sounds like it just was like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to try it. It's for me. It's not for anything else. Like I'm not out there to win. I'm not out there to prove anything to anyone. It's for my mental self and my self well-being. And to be able to sit here and to say you were in the top 7, 8, 9 people there is just fantastic. I mean, you've trudged through thousands of people and scored certain ways in order to get there. So kudos to you all in regards to that. That's fantastic. I mean, you should celebrate that as much as you can and take that feeling as long as you can. One thing that we're about at the Bowmen here is giving back and spreading that. So whether we teach kids how to shoot, we take people hunting, we try to give as much as we can. So the one thing that we ask you in return is that share your story, preach your story, good, bad, and indifferent. It doesn't matter. And make sure that you're able to inspire somebody to be better tomorrow. And if you all can do that in return for us, that would be fantastic, because that's truly what it's about. So thank you all for that. I guess follow up last minute kind of question here I have for all of you. So who came in second?
Melanie Hooper.
Okay.
She
She's
wasn't
not-
able to make it.
Oh, she wasn't able to make it. Okay, great.
She's
So
my
who, huh?
she's
She was
my
your-
training partner.
Oh, she's your training partner? Great. How far apart was the difference between Lacey, your time and score, whatever they show, and hers? Was it close? Was it a battle to the end, or was it just, that's what it was?
I think it was like 7 or 8 minutes, maybe
Okay. And
something like that.
do you feel that the shooting made the difference there, or what made that difference in your score?
Yeah, she whooped me on the workouts. She was
Really?
also my partner on that workout where we got sent out in teams of 2.
Okay.
She whooped me. So yeah, it was definitely the shooting that saved me.
Wow. And that's pretty awesome.
Yep.
And you picked up a bow a week before you started doing this challenge. And
Yeah.
have you shot for before that?
When I was 12, I quit when I was 12 and picked it
Wow.
up, and I'm 32. So it's been a while.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And I guess that's the point I'm getting to, is that it's not about where you finish. It's about how you feel at
Right.
the end, but it's about, look, like you're not a professional archer, right? You're not someone who does this every day. You haven't been doing this for years. You literally picked it up a week before And, you know, that was the grace. And I think one of the big things that we spoke about on the men's side of this as well was you can be as fit as you want, as fast as you want, as strong as you want. If you're not shooting right, you're not going to make it. Like you're gonna lose. You're gonna fall back. And it really was an eye opener to them on how much, you know, however well they trained and how good of a shot they were, of what can go wrong, number one. Two, the outside influences of three, the stress, the anxiety, people being around. And also, like, you're not training every day with someone watching you, right? Like, how much of a factor was that? Like, I wasn't there, but from what I've seen and what Troy told me, there was, you know, maybe 100 people, if not more, watching you do this. So was that a factor for you? Did it influence you either way, any one of you?
I don't think it was the amount of people for me that gave me the anxiety. It was, I think, the pressure of the competition between everybody, all of us girls, I think is where my anxiety got the highest, because I train by myself. I don't talk to another human all week long. Like, I am totally by myself all the time. So I think I put that pressure on myself, and then being there, that anxiety really, really got to me.
Okay. Yeah. And that's real life circumstances, right? You're at work and you got to give a presentation or a speech, or, you know, pitch a new client, or, you know, anything like that. Or, you know, it's out there. Everything, what I'm getting at is everything that they've shown has been a real life circumstance, right? It's been a hunting environment. It's been packing out an elk or packing out a deer, or, you know, you might have to run up a hill 30, 40, 50, 100 yards and then try to take a shot. Like, you have to perform in front of other people. You may have to give a speech. Like, you know, you might have to stand in front of people. You have to push yourself outside of that box and make new friends, or meet new people from different areas. Like, there's a lot of life lessons that First Phorm has put into this. And honestly, it's intentional. Like they do it. You have to be very well-rounded in order to do this. And you know, that's what I'm trying to get at for everybody listening to either one of these podcasts. Like, it's more than a competition and winning money and a medal, right? It's a life lesson for everybody involved. And that's huge. And that's, more importantly, better than anything else that can go along. So kudos to the team at First Phorm Outdoors and First Phorm for doing that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Troy, what do you got before we wrap up here?
Oh, I had a couple things in mind, and then you just kind of your speech
Sorry.
just got my eyes glazed over there, and I was just like, oh, that's true. But no, I just wanted to thank all of you for the time, for coming on here tonight. Sorry for the technical issues going into this, but you guys all inspired me, and we talked about it on the men's side, but there was that challenge and that competition there, but we all left, you know, happy for Kyle. You know, even though we all were there to compete, it was like he earned it. You know, everybody that was there earned being there, and then to compete. So, and I know just watching you guys and watching you interact on this podcast and everything else, just the respect that I have for you and that you guys have for each other, it is inspiring, you know? So it's like we've said a bunch of times, you don't have to be the biggest or strongest or fastest or best shot. I mean, I'm just some dude that, like you guys, got into the competition and realized, holy cow, like, I might actually be able to make it. So I pushed myself in November and then made it. And, you know, and then here we are in St. Louis, and I was that guy running around, but it was amazing. You know, I got a smile on my face. You guys are all smiling, and it's awesome just to be in the outdoors, enjoying it, you know, living every day to the fullest. You know, like they say, their slogan, you know, real people getting real results is something they preach. And until you experience it, you know, it is just a slogan. But then once you experience it, it's so much more. So I wanted to thank you guys for your time. Thanks for coming on the Bowmen podcast with us. And, you know, it's awesome.
Absolutely. Well, Troy, you nailed it on the head. Thank you all for coming on. We appreciate it greatly. a couple things last minute here. If you all can, once I post this up, and if you can share it with your friends and share it with whoever's out there, you know, all it takes is one click and one share, and it's free in order to grow a platform. And that's really what got us to this point. And you ladies are going to be integral in growing this platform. And we're honored to have you on. Congratulations to all of you for getting to that point. I will be disappointed in all of you if you don't make it next year. No, I'm joking. I'm not. Life happens, things happen. Try your hardest, and if you don't, then hey, life goes on. Tomorrow's a new day. But you know, thank you all again for coming on. Any parting words from any of you? Anything you want to put out there before we go? Anything we might have
Thank you all
missed?
for having. Thank y'all for having us on. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I mean, we said it before. It's an honor to have you. This is fantastic. I do think that it's going to be inspirational to a lot of people out there, and that's really what matters to us the most. So, all right. Well, if that's it, this is going to be the Bowmen Podcast signing off. Once we just want to let you know that currently we are being brought to you by Blocker Outdoors. Hashtag Show the Shield. Share it and post it out there. Talk to you later.